Happy New Year! It is now 2017. Welcome to this edition of Inspired. I am your host, Takia LaShawn. We are here at wonderful Stokes Brown Toyota in Hilton Head, and I am picking up the all-new 2017 Toyota Tundra because in this episode, we are going to start a new year with a new you and get rid of some old insecurities. You are straight out of excuses. Come with me so I can show you exactly what we're getting rid of. In this episode, we're going to talk about banishing insecurities. Insecurities such as low self-esteem, pride, negative friendships, unhealthy relationships, abuse, promiscuity, and the biggest one of all, bitterness. I have packed up the truck. I'm going to pick up my friends. We're going to take a ride to the dump and get rid of all of your insecurities. So come on, take a ride with me and let's go.
She's a fighter, got that fire. When you thought she'd fade away, throws a fist up as she gets up, feeling stronger every day. When she gets down on her knees, she finds the courage to believe. She's a fighter who inspires me.
Welcome back to this episode of Inspire with Takia LaShawn. I have picked up my sisters, my girls, my hearts, my friends, and we are about to ride out and take this trash, this baggage, this garbage, all of these insecurities and get rid of them. We are just going to take a ride and chat. I want to tell you all, welcome my sister Monisa. Welcome,
Hi.
Monisa.
Thank you.
Toya, how you doing back there, girl? All right, let's go. Let's take a ride. So ladies, we are talking about, this is the new year. We are in 2017. 2016 is gone. It is behind us. We are, as the Bible says, forgetting those things that are behind us. Yes. We are going to press into the new year. And I just am so excited to talk about this topic. You know, we were driving, we get together, we hang out, we fellowship a lot, and we just ride and we talk. And so I thought it would be great to have you all along for the ride. And let's talk about some of these insecurities that we as women have. I mean, what do you think? What's up with that? Monisa, why don't you start out and share with us what you think is one of the biggest issues with where our insecurities start, where they come from?
I honestly believe, and I'm saying this also from personal experience, that when you don't know who you are, when there's an identity crisis, as I like to call it, you have no knowledge of who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you don't know how valuable you are.
Right.
You know,
right.
and so that's the root of it.
Exactly.
I believe that's the root of insecurity. Not knowing who you are, not knowing how valuable you are, not understanding what it means when the scriptures say you have been fearfully and wonderfully made.
That's
God
right.
don't make junk.
He does not. And he makes no mistakes. What do you
That's
think about
right.
that, sis? Toya?
Yes.
What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on where? So Monisa said that insecurities start within. You know, what is your input on that as far as why do you think we as women struggle with insecurities, and what is the root of that, and where does that come from?
When you have people also just putting you down and just treating you bad and just not having Christ absolutely, like sis said too, in you as well.
Right. I think that's good. I was thinking as we were talking on this topic, just what you said, I think it starts within. You know, a lot of times we are seeking validation, we are seeking love and acceptance from exterior outside influences. But really it has to start within. And really if you can't, I say this all the time, if you're no good for self, you can't be good for anyone.
Absolutely.
And so we have to be able, let me adjust my mirror so I can see that beautiful face back there. Hey girl. We have to start within. Yes. And I know for me, sharing my personal testimony, I knew that there were some things missing there, but I never would have labeled myself insecure. And it wasn't until I went to go seek some spiritual counseling from my pastor and his wife. And my pastor, in talking to him about the things that I would accept, he just plainly asked me, you know, or told me, you need to go back over your life and figure out where you became insecure. And that hit me like a ton of bricks because no one had actually verbally called me insecure. I don't even think I would have labeled myself insecure, but I knew it was there. And so when he said, go back and start looking over your life,
My goodness.
it sparked and motivated something in me to dig deeper as to, well, why did I accept the things that I did, and why was I the way that I was? And this almost peeling of the onion, you say that a lot,
Yes,
peeling the onion
peeling those
process
layers
began, and I began, and I started to peel those layers, and I got to the root of it. And when I got to the root of it, I was able to begin the healing process and better myself.
Yes.
And you know, what about you, sis? Where did you begin your process?
That, and may I be honest in saying that process is still ongoing.
Yes.
Because God's design is for us to continue to grow from glory to glory. So it's just like when you take off one layer, that outside of layer of that onion is really dry and hard and crunchy sounding. It takes a few layers of that before you get to the fleshly part of it.
Right.
And even then there's still more layers. So I believe that my issue with insecurity started as a child. Because as Sister Toya said, I was confident in who I was based on my family structure.
Right.
But when certain individuals began to use certain words, and to them it was harmless, that's just how the family talks,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But when they begin to use certain words, I, as a kid, you know, you bounce back, but not really realizing as those seeds are being planted, something is going to grow at
Right.
some point.
Right.
It may not grow right then and there, but it will.
It will.
So I believe that, thank God for Jesus, you know, as I begin to learn who God has made me, and to also learn the power of words and how we
Yes.
have to be careful what
Yes.
we say, especially to anyone, but especially to children.
To children.
You have to be so careful. I believe that was the start of a wonderful journey in understanding that my circumstances doesn't dictate who I am. My finances, my physical, you know, challenges, whatever it is, that's not who I am.
Right.
Who I am is on the inside.
It's on the inside.
Yes.
Exactly. That's good. Toya, what about you?
Absolutely. Just like Sis said, who I am is on the inside, and just knowing Christ, and as our pastor said, pass. Like not letting my past, and like Sis said also, growing up, you know, our family
Right.
would, you know, like for me myself, I was like, you know, like they said, like the black sheep of the family. And I you know, words that you said and having those seeds planted, not letting those things, you know, get to us, and growing up from those things,
Right.
and just moving forward and not letting those things bother us,
Right.
and growing from those things.
Growing.
And I'm sorry, you
No. I was agreeing. You
okay,
said growing.
yeah.
I'm
And-
processing.
Yes. But just moving forward from those things.
Right. Two very powerful things that I heard, and when I said growing, that's what stood out. Monisa said, no, you said the past, and Monisa said words. Those are two very powerful tools that can be used to the negative and the positive. You know, we can allow the past, things in our past, words from our past to hinder us and dictate who we are, when on the inside, everything on the inside is screaming, that's not who you are. That's not who God created you to be. But then we can also flip it to the positive, and we can take and learn from our past and say, okay, this is what I was labeled, or this is what I was told, and I could face that head on without fear and charge at it and say, but I'm going to change that.
Yes.
And also, a lot of times we tend to allow people to pour words into us, and we take that as verbatim, that is it, that is what it has to be for us, and we really can turn that around and use our words to the positive for ourselves.
Yes.
Going back to, we talked about seeking validation. We as women, Toya and I were having this conversation on the drive the other night. We as women, a lot of times there's things in us, and we have this journey of bitterness, jealousy, things that are self-seeking, and we project that towards other people unknowingly, that
unknowingly.
it's not even directed towards them.
That's
It's something that I need to deal with within myself, in ourselves.
Yes.
And that's what we want to do, is to encourage and promote you all out there to,
Yes.
in this new year, make it a resolution to find you, be new within you, and not look for things that are going to be temporal.
Yes.
Toya, or was there anything else you wanted to say about that, sis?
I just wanted to add this. It was something very powerful you just said. I had watched a program some years ago when Tyler Perry had first started with Medea. And there was a play where the character says, I love me some me. You know, and that's what we have to start to learn, to love yourself. If God, the creator of everything,
Yes.
loves you,
Yes. That's it.
you got to love yourself.
You have to love yourself.
Yes.
And I mean, loving self, we touched on it, and we're going to talk about it some more when we come back from our commercial break. But we're really going to get to the root of how. But how do I love myself? How do I walk free of any inhibitions and break free of that? So sit right there. We're still traveling to throw all this garbage and this junk out. We're going to take a break for commercial. We'll be right back.